Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for this invitation. I'm very glad to be here with you and to present a little case of Pordenone, city of the future, or future city. And I hope it could be interesting for you. And thank you for the presentation. I am addicted for Minecraft, so it was very interesting for me, your presentation, but sorry for this. I share my screen, or I try to. Okay, this is the presentation. The conceptual framework of this project is based on some data. First of all, the situation of Italian women and men. As you know, Italy is a no good performer on gender equality. And if you can see, Italy and Pordenone have over half of population is women. But the city, the spaces, the labor market is designed and coded by men. This is a very problem to reach the goal of Agenda 2030 and all the index and all the performance provided about gender balance. So the little municipality of Pordenone has about 50,000 of population. The municipality think to do something to rethink or rethink the city, the town, in a gender perspective to help to overcome this imbalanced situation on gender perspective. So the municipality had very little fund by the region. Is not a European fund, but by region Friuli Venezia Giulia. So they try to have a little pilot and test a model, a format that could be exported in every medium city in all Europe, if you want, or in Italy. The questions was, could we imagine a desirable future and do something to make it real in a gender perspective? And so the answer is the project. The goal is to do something concrete for Pordenone in a gender perspective. I underline that is the very first time that Pordenone tried to think in a gender perspective, but I can say that also in Italy there are not so many experience like this, or to see the city in a gender perspective. There are very only few cases in the last 20 years. So it's a pilot for Italy, maybe it's not for other contexts in Europe. Anyway, the goal was to change the point of view of the population and to put the gender mainstreaming approach in the policy of a little municipality. So with the population, with the women, we want to identify strategic areas to start from, and we choose work, intergenerational generation and the demographic change, and time, spaces, mobility, and this topic. And the goal was to build a future path, a manifest, something like a manifesto created by the women and for the municipality. So to design a path that the city could follow in the next 15 years. So the experimentation mixed a gender perspective, or make strategies between gender perspective and future foresights and game-based learning. So this is in Italian, sorry, but you can see the flow. So here you have the first step was a documental analysis about bibliographies, other experience, and other urbact project, for example. 𝐓𝐫𝐻 was one of the city monitored, for example. And then we had a stakeholder engagement. We looking for women that want to be involved in this pilot. And then we design, we have 3 city labs on 3 topics, themized topics. And all the topics, all the laboratory was structured in a first meeting with a word cafe, then the urban game, and then a laboratory of the future. All the 3 topics was 3 groups of women, and they at the end meet all together to write together a decalogue for the municipality. So this is again the 3 topics. Every woman had to choose to be in the first one, the second, the third, or in one on all the 3 laboratory. And they have to think, to work, and to play in these specific topics. So the start point was a vision of the future. We asked to the women to imagine the city of the future. And they have this brainstorming, this word cafe with a lot of ideas or a lot of creativity, but then we ask them, okay, but what could we do? What you can do for this? And so they start to imagine also concrete action to transform the city from the present to the future. So the work cafe with a lot of activity and a lot of ideas, problem, opportunity, and so on. And then the second meet was this LARP. The LARP, you have to imagine a treasure hunt. We imagine the city as a playground with a little treasure left behind. The structure of the game was, okay, you are now a group of explorators of the future. Now we are in the 2030, and we find in the city some archaeological pieces coming from the past, and the past is today. So the women have to find these things coming from the past and the future, and discover the city through these little pieces left hidden in some strategical places. So with a group of game-based learn expert, Alan Mattiassi and Michele Viel was the game designer, they create this path along the city in some strategical point. For example, the Chamber of Commerce, schools, supermarket, municipality, the municipality, a lot of places. The association of engineers, a cinema, for example. And to go from a place to another, the group of women have to answer to question, to some enigma and so on. And according to the answers, they have to take a way or another place. So a lot of they have to choose every time, and based on the choose, they have a different path. Anyway, this path and this treasure hunt had the aim to facilitate a new vision in this women group, because they usually go to school or usually go to the supermarket and so on. But with this answer, these tricks and this card to read and to answer, they rethink with another lens, with another acknowledgement, the place, the time taking to go from one place to another, the obstacles, and so on. It was a reflexive, immersive experience based on a game approach. This was very, very nice, very funny, but the very important moment was not only the game, but the follow-up of this game, and they have to think about the experience, and they have to think, to propose some solution of a lot of problem they note in some cases for the very first time. So the debriefing phases was very, very important to give some ideas, some proposal to the groups and to the municipality. So the following meet was another focus group based on the 3 horizon methodology, and they have to think, to reflecting on the experience of game based and the visit of the city based on the game and the treasure hunt to find new solution, new ideas, and so on. The 3 horizon methodology is, if maybe you know it, is a facilitation and facilitate the vision of the present, of the future, and all the steps to make real and make real the vision of the future. From this, they create the decalogue and give it to the municipalities with a lot of ideas. The conclusion is very important to know that this project was developed from September 2019 to January 2020 in a COVID era. So we had to make it some change from the original idea. Anyway, we have a short time and only a short fund. But anyway, it was very, very interesting pilot to an experimentation among women. It was for most of them the very first time to see the city with these specific lenses and to reflect on this. And for some women was the very first time that have the possibility to meet other women and to discover that they have the same problems, the same idea. It was a first time to create a new relationship in a very small city. And for the municipality was a very first time to see the city with a gender lens. And it was very interesting for them because they consider some of ideas, some solution concretely very important, and they are right now using some of these some ideas to putting in some new project, a new design of the urban changement. Of course, it's just a very little experience, but the process was very important for the women, for the municipalities, and could be used as a methodology to involve some target groups and to create opportunities to exchange and to be conscious, to be knowledge of not only problems, but also to opportunity to develop, to change, and to make our city, their city, better, more inclusive for all, and to feel not alone in front of some typical and structural problem in Italian societies, like work-life balance, time to move, lack of mobility, and so on. And I think this very easy place, a treasure hunt, could be adapted with the answer, with the methodology could be very easily adapted to any context, any topics, of course, but the result was very have a very deep impact on the participant, and with very good result in terms of perspective, in terms of proposal that emerge from this laboratory of the future. So we had a report. We make a report at the end of the experience, and it was a partnership very important, because municipality of Pordenone is the main partner, but we had interesting partnership with the Association of Municipality in Italy, and we have the Journalist Association, and my organization is 𝐓𝐫𝐸, a research institute, very expert in gender issues, but the Journalist Association is very important, because a lack of news and information on gender approach is one of the most important problem that we have in Italy. There are no no news gender sensitive, so the city, the society, and so on is not very sensitive to the gender perspective, gender problems, and gender opportunity. So thank you. This is the very short presentation. Sorry for my horrible English presentation. I hope you can understand the main topics and the main point of this path. And I'm, of course, here to any question or.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chiara. Thank you so much for this very interesting presentation.